Once a week, Lana Dunn takes medication, a hormone treatment, part of her gender-affirming care as a transgender woman.
I've been on this for years now, and every lab test I shows me in perfect health.
But that lab work and medication, which would cost her hundreds of dollars out of pocket each month, would not be affordable without insurance. And Dunn says she could lose her insurance through work because House Bill 1421 protects private insurers from any disciplinary action if they refuse gender-affirming treatment based on clinical, moral, or religious grounds.
If access for commercial insurance goes away, then a lot of people are going to be really in trouble. They're not going to be able to have any access to their medications. If insurance can't cover the cost of necessary lab work, then we're essentially saying you can't monitor your health, which is unreasonable.
But Dunn isn't just worried about losing access to her medication. As the COO of Spectrum Health in Orlando, she manages the care for thousands of patients in Florida and across the country.
What's important to note here is that if House Bill 1421 passes, every single person in these states could lose access to care overnight. And that's how serious this is.
Dunn says the measure would prevent the clinic's nurse practitioner from prescribing potentially life-saving gender-affirming treatment. With more than half the clinic's patients relying on that medication, she says she may not be able to continue the work she does.
I can't even fathom. It boggles my mind that I'll have to start over from nothing again. I've poured everything into this place since I came out and came to this practice, first as a patient and then as an employee and a servant for my community.
Dunn says just the threat of losing access to care is already having a huge impact.
There's a lot of fear and uncertainty. We're already losing patients from the practice out of fear because people are leaving the state. People are fleeing.
Dunn says with her work future and future access to care uncertain, she's not sure she'll be able to continue living in Florida. She's decided not to re-sign her apartment lease, and she's now living with a friend. And her friend's back patio is a friendly escape from everything going on.
I'm very grateful to have this space because it really is my sanctuary. This is kind of where I go to find peace in a world that is deeply, deeply unpeaceful right now.
But she knows at some point, if the bill passes, she'll have to make some tough decisions.
It's painful. It's just one example of how my life has been turned upside down by this cruel legislation, this cruel attempt to legislate my existence away. But the fact of the matter is, you can take away my medications, but you can't take away my identity. Nobody can take that away from me.
In Orlando, Jeff Allen, Spectrum News. Tending to her plants is something Sage Chelf says soothes her soul. It really helped her when she was struggling with her identity a few years ago.
I just kind of started, getting house plants, and it just kind of evolved from there. This gave me comfort when it seemed like the world around me was just pretty dark.
As a transgender woman, Sage was able to build a life in Orlando as her true self. But now she's having to pack up that life. She's moving to Illinois in a few weeks.
Because you build a life somewhere and form relationships with people, like coworkers, friends. It just feels like years of work kind of being packed away along with it.
She says she's now rationing a few remaining estrogen pills. She's no longer able to get her medication through her nurse practitioner here in Florida.
I'm not intaking estrogen anymore. I just don't have hormones flowing through my body, so I'm kind of like devoid of emotion in a way. I call it like semi-zombified.
Sage started an online fundraiser to help pay for her sudden move.
Already with Orlando's housing crisis, I live paycheck to paycheck, barely.
In fact, GoFundMe reports it's had a more than 500% increase in the last year in trans individuals creating fundraisers to move out of Florida. For Sage, there is a silver lining. She's moving closer to her girlfriend, who she'll be able to cook for more.
Even though this has been very rough, we've kind of been talking about the whole housewife situation. Because I definitely like to cook.
But it's a move she wanted to make on her own timetable. Now she'll have to find a new job and a new place after leaving a job she enjoys at her apartment complex here, with coworkers she's going to miss.
I haven't even left yet and they missed me.
Her flight out of Florida is on July 4th.
The day I'm escaping the state that's taken away my civil freedoms is the same day I'm supposed to be celebrating them.
In Orange County, Jeff Allen, Spectrum News.
Thousands of people will gather in downtown Orlando this weekend for this year's Come Out with Pride Festival and Parade. And this year, festival organizers say they are going to be putting an extra focus on celebrating people in the transgender community who they say have gotten the brunt of anti-LGBTQ plus legislation passed in Florida. We spoke with a transgender woman who says this year's Come Out with Pride is going to be her first and also last. She's moving to Seattle for a new job, and in part, she says, because of Florida's political climate.
I don't think a lot of people are happy with the way things are going. They're seeing that there's a culture war being perpetrated, but nothing's actually getting done to help people. It's only hate, and that's not going to win.
News 13's Jeff Allen spoke with an LGBTQ plus business owner and the festival's executive director, who explains why this year's Come Out with Pride is going to be a bit different.
If battling cancer wasn't enough,
you look great today. I love this one.
Ann Philman is now also trying to somehow get used to losing her hair.
And you shaved your hair?
I shaved it off.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Feel that. I like that.
But through the donation of a professional grade wig and some humor,
You want to like what you see in the mirror. And who else is better to do that except a drag queen, right? All right, turn that way a little bit.
Lee Shannon is helping Ann get through one of the hardest times of her life.
All right, give me a hug. Oh, you're welcome.
It's charitable work Lee's just as proud of as his lifelong love of entertaining as a drag performer.
It's a way for them to see all I do. And most people come in knowing I'm a performer, and so we've got, I've got some of my clients going to Winter Haven and the Villages next month for me. And these are people that are going through cancer, and they get to forget about cancer for an hour and a half.
He's proud to help others and proud of who he is and what he does. He has all sorts of rainbow gear.
Got the boas.
For this weekend's Come Out with Pride celebration.
It's more important than ever that we not back down. And I think we are winning, and I think we will win.
But showing pride also means considering safety. This storage unit is where Tatiana Quiroga stores all the stuff for Come Out with Pride Orlando's annual event.
This year is very different compared to previous years.
With LGBTQ plus people facing increased threats, the festival stepping up security. These signs Quiroga is sorting will help maintain an organized parade route to go along with several layers of law enforcement more than ever before.
There are obviously increased security concerns, and so we use this, all of these different forms to be able to keep the festival and especially the parade, which is what we're doing here, organized.
Quiroga says this year the focus will be clear, prioritizing support for the trans community with a trans rally and a visible presence at the start of the parade.
We really wanted to make sure that the people in the trans community and the non-binary community felt like Pride was specifically speaking to them and being welcoming and inclusive of those two communities very specifically.
Reaching in to grab Pride-themed makeup, Lee believes those who like to display the colors of Pride will do it up even more this year.
I think they might dress up extra.
Because this year, he believes it's more important than ever.
I think it's very important that we keep loving ourselves through this. And plus, not being scared about it, because we've come too far.
In Orlando, Jeff Allen, Spectrum News.